rush pit stop ever.
Culture matters. It matters. Oh, thank you very much. Hey, Allison, do you like reading?
I love reading.
You love reading?
Yeah.
So, have you ever read books on this kind of device, like digital reading, e-reading? Have you ever tried something like that before?
I'm definitely more old-fashioned. I prefer the paper books.
Really?
Yeah, I hear it's more convenient to switch over to digital, but I haven't done it yet, so.
And of course, I like to say, I love to read the traditional paper book too.
You too? Okay.
Yeah, because,
have you tried ebooks before?
Yes, but I do love the scent of the book.
Oh, the old
books. Yes. I mean, you can feel the paper.
Exactly.
You can feel the quality of the paper. You can write notes on it.
You can give it as a gift. You can put it on your shelf and admire your library.
And most importantly, I can ask the author to put their autograph on it too.
That's right. That's a very good point.
Yeah. But there are more and more people that are reading books.
Yes. Using these ebooks and digital publishing.
That's true.
Yes,
that's true. Well, let's check with the audience, please.
I think you guys have your paddles, right? All right. So, how many of you, if you read the paper books, hold up the red one, and if you read ebooks, switch it to the blue.
Yeah, show us your preference.
All right.
Come on.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Show me, please.
It looks about split, don't you think?
It's about, a little bit more red.
A little more red. You think you're right?
A little bit more red, though.
Should we ask a few people
sure,
about
please,
why?
Go ahead.
I prefer paper book because I can feel the paper, feel the ink, the smell, and I can read it page by page. And that's what I can't experience by reading ebook. So I prefer the paper book.
I would prefer ebook.
You prefer ebook?
Because we travel a lot, so when you're traveling, it's a lot easier to carry an ebook reader rather than having to carry 5.
How about you in the back? What's your name?
My name is Jiang Li.
And do you prefer to read ebooks or paper books?
I think it's hard to choose today's, but I prefer paper books myself.
Okay. Have you ever tried?
Because my reading habit.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's more comfortable. Have you ever tried an ebook?
Yes, I tried ebook like a Kindle.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's very convenient when you travel around.
Of course. Right.
That's very good. Anyway, so I think half of the audience prefer the traditional paper books. And of course, there are more and more people.
Yes, I think it's a growing trend. Definitely.
That's right. Reading their books by using the electronic device.
The Kindle, iPad,
whatever.
All sorts of things.
But we have 2 main guests today. First of all, so 2 ladies. One of them is the director of a library in an international school here in Shanghai, and the other lady, she's working for one of the manufacturers of this kind of device. Let's welcome Cinderella and Marion. Come on, join us, please.
Hello.
Thank you, Marion. Thank you.
See you.
Cinderella, hi, nice to meet you. Have a seat, please. Have a seat. Okay. Wow, you both have a lot of books with you, huh? Which one do you prefer, electronic e-readings or traditional books? Because I thought both of them here.
Yes, well, I have brought both of them because I can't really choose. It's very difficult.
You can't? Why not?
I like both of them. I heard somebody in the audience say that they really like it when they go traveling.
Yeah.
Which I totally agree with. I've just traveled for 6 weeks and all I had with me was the Kindle.
Okay. What percentage-wise? I mean, how much time you spend on the e-readers and vice versa?
At the moment, I spend more time reading.
More time on it, okay. Yeah. What about you, Cinderella? You only brought some paper book with you today.
Yeah, to be frankly, so far as today, I still prefer to read a paper book. The reason I still prefer to use a paper book as my main tool to get all the information, it's very easy for me to highlight this key informations. So every time I highlight it, so maybe next day or 1 week later, when I want to have a report, I just see the highlight portions. So for ebook, so far, I know in iBook, it's no such kind of functions so far.
You can copy and paste, don't you?
It takes
Right.
time. It takes time. It's easier to use a pen.
Well, I'm curious because that's how I took notes, in school and in college. But what about the students at your school? Are they transferring over to digital books?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
They are. For our students, I think ebooks are a very big advantage because textbooks can be on a disk or they can keep them on the computer, which saves them having to carry kilos and kilos of textbooks on their back.
So Cinderella, let me tell me, when did you start your reading experience with electronic device?
2 years ago. To be frankly, I like that. Or I can take an example. I like travel, so I read many books related to travel. But travel, just not the words can express what you're feeling. Some pictures and sometimes it's music can help you to understand the locations and seaside. So I think one of the benefits for ebook is not just book, not just the carrier of the information, but give you more functions. So more functions brings you more fun. So I think that's the reason I like iPad, though I prefer to use paper book.
Okay. To you, a lot of people said that with ebooks, you can store 50 or even 100 or even more books, so you have more choices, so you can choose whatever to read in different mood, different locations, and so forth. So is that the advantage of the ebooks?
I think it is. This ebook reader, for instance, can store 3,500 books on it.
3,500 different books.
A whole library, huh?
Incredible.
Oh, yes, a whole
That's
library.
a lot of reading.
That's a lot of reading.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think it's a huge advantage that you don't have to limit yourself.
So you said if there are 3,500 books stored in this device, I mean, just like you're walking into a library.
I know.
It's hard to choose, though. It took a lot of time reading through the index. It's hard to make decisions. In the past, if we carry just one book, one paperback like that, or something like that, you will stick on the same book. You make the decision before you got out the door. So you say, well, I'm going to read this book on the road. But with too many choices in the device, it's so hard to choose one.
Yeah, but has it happened to you when you chose that one book to take with you and halfway through you think, I really don't like it? What are you going to do?
Good point.
What's your opinion, Cinderella?
Yeah, though ebook could contain 35,000 books inside, right? As you mentioned just now.
3,500.
3,500. But for paper book, it will help you to keep some good memories. So, for example, this is Dream of the Red Mansion, right? If I read it and I was touched by this paragraph, I cried and my tears down and dropped onto the paper. Okay, so the paper was wrinkled, Maybe I read it 10 years ago, and 10 years later I reread the book. So, at that time I was so young.
You just focus on the drop of a tear.
Yes. But it will help me to recall some good memories at that time. But if you read the ebook, I don't think have this kind of function.
Well, that's a very interesting point.
It made me think because sometimes friends will give me a book, and write an inscription in it, or getting the autographs of certain authors you love. And again, you can put them on your shelf and look at them and admire them, and it's kind of got this emotional attachment, I think. To
just like when I was young, I always got those dried leaves.
Yes.
And put it. I just put them in the middle of a book.
Yes.
And years later, if you turn to that page and see the leaves, you feel so happy because all the memories just come back at that moment, right? Don't you guys have this kind of experience before?
I think there's a gap in the market there. I think they should devise some kind of little digital teardrops that you can then add to the page, and then later on you go back there, or maybe a digital dried leaf that you can put in.
So now, tell me, then both of you have experienced digital reading before. Tell me, in your personal opinion, what's the disadvantage of these electronic device to you, Mary?
I think the disadvantage is what you mentioned before, and you're saying it too, that you cannot put a personal message in it.
Okay.
Whether it's the author signing the book or you're giving a book to a friend with a personal message written in it, you find that book 20 years later, you go, oh, so-and-so gave me that book. I think that's really nice. I also really like book covers.
The jacket design.
And you really miss that. Another thing I really like is books will, they don't die. You may give it away or it goes to a second-hand bookshop, somebody else can pick it up.
Yes.
And with ebooks, that's much more limited.
If I sent you an email and said, okay, I mean, if you can read the email in the middle of the night and say, hey, Sammy wrote me an email recommending a book and so forth. So, and of course, you can download a book electronically. You can download it online. And so you don't have to go to the bookstore to buy it.
But if you gave me a hardcover book, I would read it probably more likely than a link to somewhere else. I'd be more moved.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
Well, next
see
time I'll do that.
Please.
Okay. What kind of a disadvantage of the electronic books to you?
To me, in nowadays there are many things need our attention. So I think Marion just mentioned that is when I read, it can contain 3,500 books inside. So maybe I read this sentence, or I remember another book, so I will find another book and read that. I forgot this. But for paper book, it's easier to focus on it. To be frankly, I prefer paper book. But I could image one day, sooner or later, will be replaced.
Take me as an example. I like to read every night. I mean, before I go to sleep. Okay, I was laying on bed, holding a book. Just imagine. Okay, I fall asleep in the middle of that. So if it's a paper book, it won't hurt me. Even the book drops. Okay, but for this kind of stuff, and it would hit me though. Okay, that's completely different.
That's a disadvantage, yes.
That's the biggest disadvantage I have.
Sam, it's okay. I can get this feedback to the team, and they will find a solution for you, I think.
Anyway, so she thought that the paper book would be finally replaced by the electronic device. As a librarian, will you buy more electronic device and stopping buying the paper books?
Yes, it's one of the main points of discussion in the world of librarians all over the world at the moment. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
Most librarians embrace the whole development of ebooks. I have, like I said, posed the idea to my students where I said, shall I just throw all the books away and just have these? And the first reaction of young people is like, no, the library's going to look terrible, they said. I said, yes, but we can do other things in the library. We can play because there's no books anymore. But it's definitely something we're moving towards.
Books.
Yeah, but I think I agree with Cinderella, and I even think that before we die, we might actually actually see it.
Yeah.
I used to work for radio stations and then turned to television. Television, you have pictures, you see the real things, but radio, you can only listen to it. So when television introduced to the world, some people said that television will sooner or later replace the radio, but finally, it was just not true. I mean, so why do you believe? I mean, only because you work for Apple or something?
I think it's kind of the wheel of the history. You cannot stop it. As my understanding, no matter it's book or it's e-book or internet, it's a carrier of the information. As long as these tools give us information, that's okay. But it depends on different people have different habits. So for our generations, we still have this kind of habit to use a paper book. But 3 generations later, they even have no such kind of habit to use the paper book. They will ask you, oh, grandpa or grandmother, what's book? What's paper?
I think that's such a significant point, because same thing. We grew up
That's
with
so
books.
sad, though. Let me ask my audience. Okay, come on, join me. Let me see the lady in the back. Okay, when was the last time you wrote a letter I mean, you had wrote a letter to your fans.
我就是严格意义的书信是很久没有写了，但是像贺卡什么的还是有，包括有时候送书的话，还是会在扉页上面写一些话。
你呢？
Actually, the day before yesterday, I just wrote a letter to my
Really?
friend. Yeah.
So why not email?
Because I really want to leave some good memories to my friends, and
And a personal touch.
Yes, as a
on the
personal-
things that you sent to
Yes,
them.
and I do really want he to leave some tears on that letter. Yes, then sometime maybe they will miss me.
Okay, now let me ask you this: how many of you have a blog site? Not microblog, just blog sites. Any one of you have a blog? Okay, raise your hand. You have a blog? Okay, you too, huh? You, okay, okay, oh, both of you too. Blog, I mean blog. Okay, now, what about microblog? Okay, a little bit more. Okay, the reason why I raise this question is because we're gonna have a new guest coming in. He's an editor of a very famous magazine here in Shanghai, and he's also a poet, and he wrote a lot of stuff, both online and on paper prints. Okay, we'll be right back, and we're gonna introduce you some new faces. Okay, don't go away.
Especially in the winter when your laptop gets really nice and warm.
I don't even know.
Oh, you're one of those. My favorite people.
Actually, I'm trying to stop buying paper book.
Stop buying. I don't understand you. You just said that you prefer paper book. You read novels on your cell phone?
Absolutely, yeah.
No wonder you're wearing a big glasses. Come on.